When we think of Los Angeles, we think of beaches, celebrities, and fun times. But Curtis Palmer takes a look at the dark side of the city.
There's so much pressure to make it in LA, to be somebody. But what happens to those people that don't make it? The ones that just find the pressure too much and crash and burn?
Many of them become homeless and start living in Skid Row. Yes, it is a location in LA.
That 155 mental patients had been dropped off on these mean streets in 22 months.
I used to sleep here. If you notice, people still sleep here. All back here. I felt like I was dipped, cooked, and fried. The only thing left was to toss me to the side.
We're full, we're overflowing, because we've had to bend the rules a bit, because we really have nowhere to send anybody.
Whoa. We're about to get onto the freeway.
LA, the city of angels, palm trees, sun, and beautiful people. But there's another side to this city. There are places that tourists should never go. Places even locals try to avoid. This is Skid Row, a place referred to as America's only third world city. It's home to hundreds of homeless people, many of whom are mentally ill or impaired. We'd been warned, but nothing prepared us for what we saw as we cruised the streets leading to the heart of Skid Row. We've filmed in plenty of places, but we were surprised how bleak and frightening this place is. Film crews aren't welcome here, and none of us wanted to get out of the van. Our first destination was the Union Rescue Mission. It's the largest and oldest organisation in the USA working to support homeless people. It was started by the founder of Union Oil, Lyman Stewart, 118 years ago.
Skid Row in LA, which is really like one of the worst human disasters in the US, and it's really been caused by corralling and containment of people who are struggling with homelessness.
30% of homeless people in the US have some form of mental illness. If you're poor and mentally ill, you have few options before you hit the streets or jail.
And you never know which came first. Sometimes the mental illness comes and leads to homelessness, but certainly prolonged homelessness and suffering devastation on the streets, being robbed and beaten and mugged, and if you're a woman, much worse, certainly leads to depression and other issues of mental health. So we've got to make sure that we don't leave one precious human being on the streets. That's really the bottom line.
Sure is easy pushing it downhill, huh?
Andy takes us to what feels like a disaster zone. He makes regular trips here, handing out water. He's insisted on bringing 8 minders along to make sure our cameras don't upset people. But I wasn't prepared for the barrage of people coming up to us.
Cover these guys, and then we'll head back this way.
Have you want water? Nope.
Hey, what's up, United States Marine Corps? My name is Lunatic. I'm on St. Julian right there. We live, y'all.
According to the 2007 statistics, up to 142,000 men, women and children become homeless over the course of any year. Up to 74,000 people are homeless each night in Los Angeles County. Half the homeless are single men, 25% are single women, and the rest are entire families.
We are the capital of homelessness. We have more people on the streets in LA than any other city, double of what New York and Chicago have combined. Every suburb, every region, every city has kind of dropped off their folks who were struggling in this spot in LA and forgot about them. We're not living up to being the city of angels, and we've got to work toward the day when we don't have one precious human being on the streets, and that's going to take a lot of work, but mostly it's going to take a heart change.
How you going? What sort of feeling does this give you, Andy?
Just encouraging to give folks a cold drink of water and a little bit of encouragement, some hope.
Because, I mean, to get through the day for you, I mean, you see a lot of sadness. I mean, does this just add to, does this get you through doing stuff like this?
Yeah, it helps, but what really helps is when somebody gets a bottle of water and then they decide later on, because they know where the water came from, they come in and ask for real help.
When you go take a vacation? 1:30 or 1?
Andy once spent a night out on the street just to see what it was like.
I think I slept like 30 minutes because a guy said he'd watch my back, you know, and I took a little nap, but that's all I got. A friend of mine who spent 20 years said, Andy, after 6 or 7 days, that fear would have been replaced by anger and you would have adapted, because humans adapt to anything. We realize they're precious people. They're somebody's aunt, they're somebody's uncle, there's somebody's precious baby that they held in their arms, and we need to quit referring to people as the homeless or the drug addicted.
It's hot, a dry, searing kind of heat.
We've only come about maybe 50 meters. We've handed out over 200 bottles of water. It's gone.
We experienced a tsunami of families in this latest economic downturn, and about 53% of the families who came our way were experiencing homelessness for the first time in their life. They lost their home, they lost their job, they lost their apartment, they ran out of funds, they ended up in a hotel until their savings is gone, then they moved to their car, and then the last stop was a place like Union Rescue Mission. And we've relaunched probably about 45 families, including, I think, 3 are getting relaunched this week, because we didn't leave them in homelessness long enough to suffer the devastation of homelessness.
Yeah.
You wouldn't not have wanted to visit here before the Safer Cities initiative. I couldn't walk down the street without having to break up a serious pipe fight or knife fight. It was described as Mardi Gras on crack, and it was very dangerous. And now you can see we can walk down the street pretty safely, and without the police, we couldn't do that.
Yeah.
This is our day room for our male folks who come in and are staying with us. And they can come in and just have some quiet time just to get off the mean streets down here on Skid Row.
People can sign up for beds, enjoy 3 meals a day, and take what might be their first shower in weeks.
Good morning, sweetie. How are you?
Haircuts are provided, along with fresh clothes and medical care. Therapists are on hand to assess the mental state of those who turn up here and work out an action plan. The Union Rescue Mission provides a real opportunity to get off the street and start a new life.
This wall is the wall where when folks come in and they're sick and tired of being sick and tired and of being on the street and they want some help, they sit in these seats for about 14 days. That lets us know that they're really serious about getting some help. It's full